Hey guys, what's up? My name's Taylor. So I've had this idea for a while now to come on here and tell stories, things that I've heard over the years. We all remember being in school and just hearing these like crazy stories from people you knew or people you had like heard of, and it was like a friend of a friend whispered down the lane. You heard these like wild stories, and I've just accumulated all of this like half true knowledge throughout the years. Some of these stories I'm involved in, so I know that they happened, and some of them I just heard from people, so they like probably never happened, but like they're still really good stories. I'm gonna be doing my makeup just because I watch a lot of Bailey Sarian, and I'm like, yeah, that would be a great way to keep me on track with telling a story because I get sidetracked super easily. So if I'm doing something, I feel like it'll like feed the ADHD, and like I need to multitask to like get one thing done, if that makes sense. Let's get started. So I'm not trying to like dig up old drama or anything. So all the names have been changed. So unless I'm involved in the story and I talk about me specifically, every other name has been changed because this is just like fun. Like, don't you love just gossiping and hearing stories about people that you don't know? Like, it's still just as fun, especially because you don't really have any personal bias at that point. So like, it's really nice. This story involves me and my friend Kayla. So, and also this guy, Tyler, is involved. Tyler, who is the main antagonist of this story, Tyler is best friends with Kayla's ex-boyfriend. That is how they know each other. Kayla was friends with Tyler first and then met her ex through him, and then they started dating. That's that. So Kayla had really strict parents growing up. She was one of those people that she was always like had to like kind of fabricate where she was going to her parents. She wasn't like a wild child or anything, but like she definitely like she would always like say that boys weren't there and that it was friends that her parents knew, even if there were people that her parents didn't know. Like she was always just kind of like fabricating it so that way her parents like would say yes. She wasn't allowed to hang out with like any guys unless her parents had met them personally, and she was very particular about which guys her parents were to meet personally for this reason. So Kayla's family went away on vacation over spring break, our senior year of high school. This is a lot of product. It's a BB cream, so I'm just gonna spread this around. It's fine. So Kayla's family went on vacation. I think they went to like Florida or something over spring break. And I think they were like, I don't remember I think they were like visiting family or something. And they asked her if she wanted to go. And she was like, no, because she was going away for college. So she like wanted to like spend as much time with her friends as possible. So her family, which is like her parents and her siblings, went away over spring break. And so she had her house all to herself, which is fantastic. We loved it. Like, could you imagine being in high school and your friend having an entire house to themselves? Like, you guys could just do whatever you wanted. And like, we weren't bad kids. So like, we just like hung out every night. Like, we would get together with like 10 of our best friends and hang out. Like, some people would be drinking, but it was never like that kind of party. It would like be some people would like bring a few beers or something, but like we weren't trying to get hammered. We were just like enjoying being able to be up till 3 a.m. and like sleep on the floor and like not have any embarrassing interactions with parents. We were having like these little get-togethers all week, and we had gotten together the night before, and my friend texts me at like 11 a.m. and she's like, hey, I need you to come over. Tyler showed up at my house at 2 a.m. and he hasn't left and he won't leave. I'm kind of freaked out. Can you come over? So Kayla lived in an apartment complex, and she lived on the second floor of this apartment complex. So Tyler had to climb the balcony to knock on her screen door at 2 a.m. And she was on the phone with a friend at the time, and she was like really freaked out. She was like, oh my God, somebody's knocking on my balcony. This is super weird. What is this? She opens the balcony, sees him there, and he's just like, I need to talk to you. I just like, when I come inside, I need to talk to you. So side note, Tyler has professed his love to Kayla on several occasions, and she's just told him that like, I'm not interested. Even when she was like dating his best friend, he was still like, I love you. I want to be with you. I want you to be with me. And I think they ended up like not being like, the two guys ended up not being friends because of it or other reasons. But don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on any of this because like, again, this is like my memory from like 8 years ago. I go over her house and Tyler is laying on my friend's living room floor and he is like in his underwear. He's laying under like 4 blankets, so I didn't know this until she told me. He was in his underwear. There was like a bag of like little white pills laying next to him. And he was like face down. He didn't even look up and see me. I was just like, hey. And she told me before I got there, she's like, pretend that you just stopped by because I don't want him to know that I called you. I don't want him to freak out. So I was like, fine. So I walk in and I was like, hey, I left my hoodie here the other night. I was just wondering if you found it. And he doesn't even look up and he's like, what's she doing here? I think I've met this guy once. I like didn't know him. So I was like, what do you mean she? Like, you don't know me. And I was like, excuse me? And then he was like, what is that expletive C word, expletive W word doing here? Great first impressions from this guy. And I was just so like dumbfounded. I was like, I've never been called that word, let alone by a guy that I don't know. So I was like, all right. And she was like, I want to take a shower, like, but I'm afraid that he's gonna like try to come in and talk to me while I'm in the shower. Like, and so I was like, okay, fine. So I go into the bathroom with her and she locks the door behind her. She's just like really freaked out. He's like muttering stuff that doesn't make sense. Like he told her that he had taken, like, I think he said like Klonopin or something. Like, but he told her he took pills. He also told her that he had a katana on him. For those who don't know what a katana is, it's basically like a sword. He had a small sword on him. We're like, great. And he said that he had other knives on him as well. I don't know why he showed up to this girl's house with knives, but that's what he did. We're in the bathroom while she's taking a shower because she's just like, you know, like we had plans that day. Like we were planning on doing stuff, but like, you know, now we can't because like he won't leave. She's asked him to leave a few times and he's like, no, I just want to talk to you. But he's like just talking in circles. He's not making any sense. She's like, no, like you gotta go. And he's like, no. And so we're like, all right. So she calls me to come over. I tell him, I'm like, dude, you gotta go. Like, she doesn't want you here. You need to leave. And he's like, this has nothing to do with you. Stay out of it. And I was like, sir, no. We call our other friend Shannon. And Shannon actually knows this guy. She's like, yeah, he's a weirdo. And we call Shannon. We're like, hey, maybe you can try talking to him. Because Shannon was like, not like tougher, but she was just like she would scream at him. Like she would definitely like get him to leave. And I was just like, so like, I don't know this kid, you know? Like, so I'm like, I don't know what to yell at him. Like, I don't know. I'm just there like to comfort my friend. So we call our friend Shannon. Shannon comes over and he like, at this point, my friend Kayla's out of the shower. She's dressed. We're out in the living room trying to get him to leave. He is now off of the floor and he is standing up and he is banging his head into the wall. Great. He's banging his head into the wall and we're like, bruh, what are you doing? And he's just like, I just like don't know what to do. And we're like, okay, but like don't do that, you know? Sorry, I had to get a mirror because I'm just kind of looking in my phone like screen. So I can't really see what I'm doing, you know? So where was I? Right. He's slamming his head into the wall. We're like, oh, okay. He's like not right now. Okay, great. So Shannon comes over and she sees him laying on the floor. And he's like, does the same thing to her. He's like, what is she doing here? And Kayla's like, I called her and I told her to come over. And he's like, get out. And we're like, bro, this is not your house. And we're like, we're gonna call the cops if you don't leave. And he looks at Kayla and he's like, no, you won't. Kayla having strict parents means we were afraid to call the cops because we were I think she was, at least she was only 17. So she was afraid that they were gonna like call her parents and be like, hey, this happened to your daughter or whatever. And her parents would have freaked out that she let a boy into the house. And she was, like I said, she was going away to college. So she was afraid that they were gonna like not let her go away to college. We were like bluffing, obviously. And he knew her well enough to know that, like, to know how her parents are. So he's like, you're not gonna call the cops. So we're just like, fine. Shannon is like yelling at him. She's like, you gotta go. Like, she's asking you to leave. Kayla doesn't want you here. Like, you claim to love her so much, but she doesn't want you here. So like, why aren't you listening to her? You need to go. He was like, Shannon, no offense, but F you. What do you mean no offense? Like, there's no way to say that and not imply offense. Like, what? So we laughed a minute and she was just like, she went off. She's like, excuse me? She's like, I was invited here. You were not. She wants you to go. Like, get out. Like, I have every right to be here. You don't. You literally showed up at 2 a.m. And at this point, it's like 2 or 3 p.m. So like, homeboy has been here like all night. Like she didn't really sleep because he was there. I think he fell asleep at one point on the middle of her floor, but like, I don't know when he took his clothes off. Like he was just like in his underwear. And I just remember he smelled so bad. Like he smelled like he hadn't showered in like 4 days. And this is like so hard to do. I don't know how Bailey does this. I feel like Bailey and I are on a first name basis, even though I've never met her, but like I watch her like almost every day of my life. So we're all just like trying to get him to leave. And now we are texting our friend Matt. Matt and Tyler have like beef. Like they went to the same high school, I think, or they had like mutual friends. I don't know if Tyler like used to date one of Matt's friends or something, but all I know is that they did not like each other. And we were texting Matt and he was like, just kind of like looking for an excuse to like have a fight with Tyler. And we're like usually like not the type to like encourage fights or anything, but we're also like, we want him out of here. Like, we'd rather the police get called because there's a fight like outside than like be like, hey, I let this guy in my apartment and now he won't leave. Like we felt like that was like a harder thing to explain to the cops. Also, the cops in our town were like known for being like not nice. We're talking to our friend Matt and Matt's like, I'm coming over. And we told Tyler, we were like, hey, like, you need to leave. Matt's coming over. And he's like, I don't care. I'm not afraid of him. Like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I have a knife on me. And Shannon's like, who do you think you are? Like, showing up here with a knife. Like, what are you trying to do? And he's like, sweetheart, that is not the only knife I have on me. Like, you're not helping your argument. Oh my God. This guy was just like off his rocker, like for real. We call Matt and Matt is like, hey, I'll come and pick you guys up. And like, you'll just kind of like escort him out when you leave. At this point, it's like 5:30 at night. And we're like, I know, I like jumped ahead in time. Just imagine all those hours of us just trying to get him to leave. And like at one point, Kayla like was sitting with him on the couch, like trying to like just talk to him because that's clearly what he wanted. That's what he said he wanted, was to just talk to her. So she's like trying to talk to him and he's just like talking in circles. He's just like, why won't you be with me? And she's like, I don't want to. Like, I value our friendship too much. And he's like, which is like, obviously like she doesn't really want much to do with him at this point, but like she's just trying to like let him down easy, like, because she's just like wants him to go, you know, like she just wants him to leave. She wants this all to be over with. Like, she had never led him on. Like, they were always friends, and like she knew that he had like a thing for her, but he always was like just like she told him, she's like, I don't want to be with you. And so, but he like has this whole like bitter thing, like, I loved you and then you dated my best friend. And she's like, I didn't know you liked me like that, but like also I don't like you like that. So like what was I'm supposed to just like you because you like me? Like that's not how that works, you know? We call Matt and Matt comes and we're like, Tyler, you need to go. Like we're leaving. Like we're going out. You need to leave. And so we finally get him to like get up to like leave with us. And he's like, maybe I'll just go get in a fight and get myself arrested. And he's like, maybe I'll just get myself killed then. Like he was just like pulling all of the like super manipulative like guilt cards. He didn't end up doing any of that. I think he did end up getting like arrested, or like the cops like saw him just like wandering and they were like, dude, go home. And Matt comes, we walk him outside, we walk Tyler outside, and Matt's like there. He's like kind of like ready to go, you know? Like he's like, I don't like this kid, and like I'm ready to like fight him because I don't like him, which is like, you know, fair enough. Like I don't like him either. I'm sorry, I'm like really bad at talking and doing this at the same time. Like, and I also don't really like wear much face makeup. It's really just all like eye makeup, so sorry about that. I'm just gonna put on some eyeliner, and I'm gonna do this without talking because like clearly, as you can see, I just like I can't. I also have like a nasty tremor. It's actually not that nasty, but like it's basically like a really extreme unsteady hand. I just have to like rest my hand on something because like having my hand like up, like I don't know if you can like it's not too bad. Whenever I hold it like this, it's not that bad, but like it's, yeah, like, but when I hold it like that, it's worse. You see? Look at my thumb, like what the fuck? Anyway, so that eyeliner is, you know, it's what it's gonna be. So where was I? Oh yeah, so Matt shows up and he's like, you know, like ready to go. But he sees Tyler and is just like, oh, this guy's like messed up. Like he clearly, but like, I don't know like how messed up he could have been. Like he showed up at 2 a.m. So like if he was on drugs then, it's now 6 p.m. So like he didn't take anything at my friend's house. So we're like, I don't know if he was like going through like an episode of some sort, like a mental health thing. Like, I mean, well, clearly, you know, but like, I don't think it was drugs at this point. So Matt shows up, sees that he's like not like being like aggressive or anything. He's just kind of being like stubborn and like just muttering stuff to himself that he's gonna hurt himself, he's gonna go get arrested, and he's gonna go get in a fight. Like he was just gonna go somewhere and get in a fight with someone so he would get arrested. And we were like, okay, have fun. Like, you know, like that's not our problem. Like we were telling him not to, but also we're like, we don't think he's really going to, because like we're like, he's just trying to like get us to not leave because he clearly wants to like still like try to talk to my friend, even though he's not saying anything that he hasn't already said, and she's already like made her point several times. Matt shows up and he picks us up and he's just kind of like giving like Tyler like a look like, dude, don't try anything. Like, I don't feel like dealing with this. None of us feel like dealing with this. And he didn't try anything. Like he was just kind of like walk in and just being like, I'm gonna go get in a fight with somebody. I'm gonna go get arrested tonight. And we were just like, I don't care. Like, get out. We've been babysitting you like for the past 7 hours at this point. We're like, I'm over it. So Matt picks us up and I think we go over our friend Brandon's house. So we get to Brandon's house and we were like, yo, this is just what we dealt with today. We were basically like, I always joke and I say that we were held hostage because like he wouldn't leave and he had weapons on him and he was like threatening us with the weapons. So like, I guess but like, it wasn't that like he wouldn't let us leave. It was that he wouldn't leave. So like we obviously couldn't leave because he wouldn't leave, you know? So we go over Brandon's house and we're like, yo, look at what we just dealt with, or listen to what we just dealt with. And he was like, oh my God, because he also knew who this kid was. So he makes this like long Facebook status, like a call out status. Like he's not friends with the guy. So he like just says his name and he like makes this whole post. And like, it got crazy. Like pretty much like most of the comments were like from people being like, yeah, that guy's wild. I, dealt with him at this point. But there were also like an unsettling amount of comments from people like being like, I'm friends with him. That doesn't sound like something he would do. Like, he did it. I was there, like he was like he's clearly not well, like he needed to get help of some sort. I'm like really messing with these eyelashes. So yeah, so there were like people commenting on this post that were like, no, that's not like him. He wouldn't do that. Some people were like tagging him in it, like trying to be like, oh my God, look at like drama. Like, look what this person's saying about you. Like, at least tag him in it. And we're like, we don't want to tag him in it. Like, fine. Like, we just dealt with him all day. Like, no, screw this guy, People are like tagging him and one person was like defending him. And then we were like telling them, we're like, no, this is like real. Like, and like me and my friends were commenting on it. We're like, yeah, no, this is real. We were there. It happened to us. He's not making it up. Like, Brandon's not lying. And then she's like, oh, like, well, like, I don't know him that well. And like, we're like, yeah. So like, why are you defending this guy if you don't know him? Because you like broke on it immediately. Like you like immediately retracted that statement once we were like, no, this literally happened 4 hours ago. Like, this isn't like some rumor. Like, it just happened. Yeah. So that's that story. I'm like just finishing my makeup. I didn't even do my lipstick. And that happened, like I said, like 8 years ago. I'll also just like early into wearing just like lip liner and lip gloss. Like, I think this is really 90s, but like, I don't care. I don't care. I love it. That's that story of the time that we were like, quote unquote, like held hostage. I don't know. This guy, I guess maybe saying that we were held at like knife point might be a little more accurate, because like he was threatening us with, well, sword point. We were held at sword point. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, I have a ton of stories that are kind of wild like this as well, whether they're my stories or they're stories of close friends of mine. I am more than willing to have story times about those as well, because I personally just love telling stories. And anyone who knows me like personally knows that I don't shut up and I'll just talk to myself and tell stories nonstop. Like, you don't even have to respond. So like, that's perfect for what this is. Anyway, if you liked this, comment below. Let me know. I can do more videos like this. If you have any wild stories of your own from your high school experience, send them to me. Send them. Like, I live for like 7-year-old tea. Full disclosure, I don't want to hear sex scandals. I don't want to hear like, oh, this person cheated with this I don't want any of that, because I don't know about you guys, but personally, I've had sex scandals spread about me when I was in high school, and they're not fun. Honestly, they're not even like funny. Like, they're not fun to listen to. They're just like super uncomfortable, because odds are they're completely false. And they just are like really, they're like just not good stories. Like, I don't really want to hear about how like, oh, like he cheated on me. Like, great. I don't want to hear if the main drama is that like it was like something sexual. Like, I don't want that. I don't want it. It doesn't interest me. It's not my story to tell. I just think that's like, that goes a little too personal. Even when I'm changing the names and everything, I just think that's like, I don't want to feed into that at all. Like, I want to hear like crazy stories, So anyway, if you have any fun stories from high school, middle school, college, like, send them my way. I will love to put together a little video and tell them for you. Obviously, I'll change all the names. I'll change the names of the people. I'll change the names of the schools, the towns, everything. Like, we're not here to like call people out. This is not like, we're not doing any type of like call out, cancel, like nothing. We're not doing that. We're just here to have a good time. It's like when you meet someone for the first time and you just sit and like tell them all about your relationship drama, and like they don't know your boyfriend, like you still want to hear it, Anyway, like and subscribe, comment, let me know how you liked this. I was kind of going for like a hangout feel. I'm not so much trying to do this as like a makeup tutorial every time, even though it's not a tutorial. I was just doing my makeup. I'm not trying to do a makeup thing every time because, you know, that's already been done. Frankly, I don't feel like doing my makeup all the time. I am like super into the idea of hanging out and talking and telling these stories while I, you know, like do my hair or while I'm cooking or while I'm like painting my nails, like just like doing like, I guess like sleepover stuff. What it reminds me of, like I'll do like face masks and I'll tell a story, like, because I don't know about you, but me as an adult, I miss sleepovers. I miss being able to like get together and like tell these stories and be like, oh my God. And like, I hear your story about like summer camp and like that guy who like you met at the mall. Like, oh my God, like I want to hear it. I want all the tea. Gimme. And I want to talk about it while we do sleepover stuff. Maybe I'll paint my nails in my next video because they're messed up. So I had these like stick-on gel nails, and since I do hair, they didn't last very long. They're fantastic for like if I have like a wedding or something to go to, they'd be great for that, but my hands are in water all day and like scrubbing hair, so like it didn't work too well with that. So I was like, as they were peeling off, I was painting my nails black on the naked ones, and then last night I just peeled the rest of them off. So there's like, yeah. I'm also not coming on here to like get hammered. This is just sleepover stuff. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.